Good morning, Clemton, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a good weekend. We feel like we're finally turning the corner and making progress on getting moved into our new place. So that's always a good feeling. Sunny and kind of cold here, but a nice day. Otherwise, hope you're having nice weather where you are. What are you loyal to in life? I tend to be a loyal person, whether it's business or especially in my relationships. I tend to be loyal to people, and I guess if I'm to be honest, I expect loyalty in return in my relationships. Um, we were dealing with TELUS, our phone company, and their loyalty program, and it kind of annoys me that you have to ask for any loyalty bonuses. You have to actually threaten them with leaving this phone company to go to that phone company. So if you're in BC, you'll call up TELUS and you'll say, hey, listen, I'm looking at a plan from Rogers. What can you do for me? And then they'll look up in their loyalty program and then they'll say, oh, look, we can reduce your bill by this amount. But it doesn't feel like loyalty to me when we have to actually ask for it. Like they give more discounts to new customers than they do to people that are loyal to them for years and years. I tend to like, though, to stay with a business that I'm comfortable with, that I believe is honest, and it doesn't always have to be the best deal in the world, but I like to stay with them. Within family, I'm very loyal within family. I know growing up, my brothers and my sister and we could argue between ourselves, um, but don't dare let somebody else come in between us or against one of us. I can remember one time, the year we lived with my grandmother down in the city. I was just a country boy living in the city. I had so much to learn about what life is like in the city. But anyway, me and I think it was a friend, but it could have been my younger brother. Anyway, we were out on a bike ride on a park, and a gang found us, and they were threatening us, and they took their belts off, and they were going to try to whip us with their belts and stupid city life stuff. And so we got on our bikes and we raced home. And my older brother heard about it, and he grabbed two friends, one a very large friend, and he went racing down to take on this gang of guys, which fortunately were long gone. But for Ron, that was a issue of loyalty. Like you stuck up for your family, and you watched out for your family, and so anyway, loyalty to me has always been a very important topic. What are you loyal to? Everybody has loyalty to something, whether they realize it or not. Everybody has loyalty to something. It comes out in a variety of ways. People don't always use that word. I was listening to somebody the other day explaining their life values, and their number one life value was they had to be true to themselves. And that's a very popular thing to say today. I have to be true to myself. And there is some elements of truth to that, but also I have to be true to myself. Actually, it becomes I have to be loyal to myself. And it becomes an inward self-centered thing when it's taken out of control and out of balance with other life principles. And I'm not saying this person was out of balance, but they were expressing loyalty to themselves. What is your loyalty? Where do your loyalties lay in your life? Or like, what are you loyal to? We've been doing the 10 Commandments now, and I have yet to get out of the first commandment. And that's part of the reason I love the 10 Commandments, is because on the surface, they seem very simple, and they are on the surface, very simple principles, 10 simple principles for living a good life. God's top 10 list of good behavior, I've been calling it. But on the other hand, there is a depth to it that I really enjoy exploring. So I always think of it like a swimming pool, where you have the shallow end of the swimming pool and then you have the deep end of the swimming pool. And some people are content to spend their whole life in the shallow end of the pool. And other people want to get down to the deep end because there's so much more to do and explore in the deep end. You don't want to go diving into the shallow end of the pool, do you? You just want to kind of like walk down into it, kind of a semi-gentle way, where in the deep end, you can go off diving boards and slides and dive in and jump in, and all kinds of stuff can go on in the deep end. There's so much more happening at the deep end. And that's the way the scriptures are. You can spend your life at the shallow end of the pool. I'm not criticizing that, but I'm encouraging you. There's so much more in the deep end of the pool. The 10 Commandments are like that. So we've been looking at the very first commandment. This is our third or fourth session. I don't even remember how many now. I am the Lord your God. I am Yahweh, your Jehovah, and you shall have no other gods before me. This is God's way of saying he expects us to be loyal to him. That is our primary loyalty in life, not ourselves, not be true to ourselves, not even be loyal to our families, although that's important. Our first and primary loyalty always needs to be to the Lord our God. And so God expressed this in a lot of ways in Scripture. I just want to kind of quickly look at two of them this morning. One is found in Deuteronomy, kind of a longer section. I could have shortened this, but this is something that Moses was sharing from God towards the end of Moses's life. He's stating some of the most important principles, summing up the important things that he had been telling the people through the years. So here we go. See, I have said, this is the Lord speaking to Israel, but in the same way, God is speaking to us. See, I've set before you today life and good, death and evil. In that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments. That's loyalty. That's what loyalty to God means. Love him with all of your heart, walk in his ways, and keep his commandments. And that you may live and multiply. The Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to promise. But if your heart turns away, that's disloyalty. If your heart turns away so that you do not hear and are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I announce to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you cross over the Jordan to go in and possess. And I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live, and that you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him. For he is your life and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. That section is all about loyalty and disloyalty, and that there's blessings for being loyal, and there is consequences, natural consequences, and God-ordained consequences to being disloyal to God. You see, loyalty to God is such an important principle. Jesus put it this way a little bit later in the New Testament when Jesus was speaking. Tough passage, but Jesus says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yea, his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Now, let me be clear. Let me be clear on this. Jesus is not actually speaking against the family. God created family. Jesus created family. Jesus is pro-family. He's using a form of language to make the important point. And that's what he's doing. He's not literally calling you to hate your father and mother, your wife and children, your brothers and sisters. What he's calling you to is loyalty to God above even your own family. That's what he's calling you to. And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Loyalty. For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish? So this is my encouragement to you today. Where do your loyalties lie today? Are your loyalties to yourself? or your loyalties to your family and community, not a bad thing, is your ultimate loyalty to God himself and following him regardless of the cost of what it means to follow him. I want you to think about that. That's my word for the day. I think on Wednesday, we're actually going to get to the second commandment. Anyway, between now and then, I hope you have a good couple of days. See you later.